Come closer than you have come in a long time. Closer than the weight you have been carrying. Closer than the burden no one helped you name. The yoke that has been pressing down on your shoulders has already been weighed and judged in heaven. Not by your strength, not by your endurance, not by how many days you held it without complaining. By my mercy. I am sliding it off you as you hear me speak these words. Lift your eyes to where the light is coming from. Not down at the floor where the burden has trained you to look. Not at your hands, holding what was never yours to hold. Up, toward me. I want to see you receiving my word with your face open, not hidden. That is the posture I have been waiting for. You did not come here by accident. You came here because something in your spirit recognized that the load you are carrying cannot be carried alone any longer. And hear this, before anything else is said. I see you. I see the shoulders that have been held tight for months. I see the back that has forgotten what it feels like to stand without bracing. I see the chest that no longer expands the way it did when you were young. None of that is invisible to me. None of it. The burden you are carrying has a weight in heaven. It is measured. It is named. And the truth about it has already been declared. The truth is this: it does not belong to you. It never did. You picked it up because you thought a faithful heart should carry everything alone. You thought I was watching to see if you could endure. I was not watching to see if you could endure. I was waiting for you to release it. Let me tell you what I have watched in you for a long time now. I have watched you carry things that were never assigned to you, fears that belong to people who are gone, expectations that no one even spoke aloud, but whose silence you decoded into a list of duties. Unfinished prayers of relatives who passed without seeing what they hoped to see. Shame that belonged to someone else but landed on you because you were the one strong enough to hold it without breaking. You have been a holding ground for what other people could not face. I see all of it. There is a kind of strength that becomes a prison. A strength belonging to the one who never says no. The kind you cannot put down because everyone has come to count on it. What was always mine got placed on your back, and the world rearranged itself around your ability to carry without complaint. That strength is real. I gave it to you. But I gave it to you for a season, not for a lifetime. Your season of carrying that way is ending. Your strength is being repurposed. What I am giving you next is the strength to refuse what is not yours. Strength to put things down. Strength to say gently and firmly, "This belongs to my Father, not to me." You receive my word the way a tired traveler receives water, not by analyzing it, but by drinking it. Open your hands. Open your hands the way someone opens them when they are no longer holding a weapon. The way someone opens them when they are finally ready to be given to instead of taking. That is what receiving looks like. I am not far from you. I have never been far from you. The distance you have felt was the distance the burden put between us. When you carry a yoke that heavy, you cannot look up. You cannot lift your face. You cannot see the one who is right beside you, walking your pace, ready at any moment to take the load off your back. The moment you stop trying to be strong for me, I become strong for you. That is how it has always worked. You forgot. I never forgot. You have prayed for closeness many times. You have asked why I felt far. You have wondered if you had done something to push me away. Hear me now. Nothing you did pushed me away. Nothing you ever could do would push me away. What you felt as distance was the weight of the load on your shoulders, pressing your eyes down so far you could not see me even though I was beside you. A man with a yoke on his neck cannot turn his head. He thinks the field is empty because the field is outside his vision. I have been in your field the entire time. I have been walking your row. I have been bending low when you bent low. I knew the day would come when the yoke would slide off, and that day is happening as you hear me speak. You can finally look around and see who has been with you all along. The release I am bringing is not theoretical. It is not for some future version of you who has earned it through more suffering. It is for the version of you sitting where you are sitting now, breathing the air you are breathing now, with the exact thoughts in your mind that are there in this moment. That version is the one I am unbinding. That version is the one I am restoring. Hear me. Receive this. My word comes to you the way ground receives rain after a long drought, without questioning whether you deserve it, without measuring it, without saving it for later. Drink it now. Let it soak through everything that has gone dry inside you. The promises I am pouring out are not waiting for a better day to be received. They are waiting for you to be open, and open is what I am making you right now as you listen. The yoke is sliding. I want you to feel that, not as a metaphor, as something happening. The weight that pressed against the back of your neck for months. I am lifting my hand to that exact place and removing what was never mine to put there. Other people put it there. Fear put it there. Old promises you made to yourself when you were young and afraid put it there. None of it was mine. Tilt your head slightly toward the ceiling. Just a small motion, the smallest. Let the muscles in your neck remember that they were made to look upward, not only forward. Let your throat open. Let the air find a wider path. Many people who carry heavy burdens forget that their head can move at all. They walk through their days with their gaze locked low. I am asking you in this moment to let your head lift, even slightly, because the way you hold your head changes the way you receive me, and I want to be received fully. There is something I want to tell you that you may not have heard before. The burden you have been carrying is not a sign that you have been weak. It is a sign that you have been faithful in a way no one around you ever saw. You kept showing up. You kept holding it. You kept refusing to let it crush the people you love. That is not weakness. That is honor. An honor like that does not go unseen in heaven. But honor is not the same as ownership. You honored the burden by carrying it. That does not mean it was yours to keep. A faithful man can hold something that belongs to me for a season, and then return it to me when his arms grow tired. There is no shame in returning what was mine to begin with. There is only the mistake of believing that returning it means you failed. You did not fail. You completed a chapter. The chapter where you carried what you could carry, where you proved to yourself that you would not abandon what you love. That chapter is closing. The next one is different. In the next one, you walk lighter. You walk with your hands more open. You walk without bracing for the next thing to fall on you. That is the chapter I am writing now. Notice with me the difference between an ending that is a failure and an ending that is a completion. They look the same from outside. They feel completely different from inside. A failure leaves you with shame. A completion leaves you with rest. What is ending in your life right now is not a failure. It is a completion. Your season of carrying alone is being completed. Your role of being the strong one for everyone is being completed. Your identity as the one who never asks for help is being completed. You did the work that role required. You did it well. And now I am releasing you from it. the way a wise master releases a faithful servant into a higher kind of freedom. What I am releasing you into is not the freedom of having no responsibilities. It is the freedom of carrying only what is yours. There is a difference between a load that belongs to you and a load that you simply picked up out of habit or guilt or fear. Anything that belongs to you, I help you carry. Anything that does not belong to you, I take from your hands the moment you let me. Most of what has been on your back was the second kind. You did not need to carry it. You only thought you did, because no one had ever told you it was not yours. If these words are landing in you, leave the word receiving in the comments below. Not for me, for your own commitment to staying open to what I am saying. There is power in a word spoken back. There is more power in a word written down. Write it as a witness to yourself that you heard me and you chose to receive. You receive my word with joy. That is the line I want pressed into you. Say it back to yourself, slowly, the next time you feel the old weight trying to climb back onto your shoulders. Old weight never leaves quietly. It has had a long residence in your body. It will try to return, and when it tries, you have a sentence ready. A quiet sentence, simple enough to remember when your mind is tired and complicated enough to carry the truth that breaks the burden. Weight cannot live where joy is being received. Yokes cannot stay where my word is welcomed in. This is a law of my kingdom, not a hopeful saying. I am pouring out promises that have your name on them. Not generic promises, specific ones. The kind only a father who has known you since before you were born could write. I have known the prayers you stopped praying because you got tired of waiting. I have those prayers. They are not lost. They are not unanswered. They are simply waiting for the moment when you were ready to receive without flinching. That moment is now. The horizon I have been showing you in glimpses is real. Those small, fleeting moments when you felt for half a second that something good was about to happen. Those were not your imagination. Those were me letting you see the edge of what I have prepared. I let you see the edge so that when the full thing arrives, you would recognize it. I do not surprise my children with what I have promised. I prepare them. The preparing has been happening longer than you know. There are people in your life right now who are about to begin treating you differently. Not because you forced them to. Not because you finally said the right thing. Because I am shifting the way they see you. Misunderstandings that lasted years are about to dissolve in a single conversation. Doors that were closed by people who did not understand what you carried are about to open by people who do. I am also moving things in places you cannot see. Conversations are happening about you in rooms you will never enter. Names are being remembered in moments you will never witness. Recommendations are being made by people who barely know you, but whose mouths I have opened because the season requires it. You do not need to manage any of it. You do not need to perform. You do not need to be impressive. Doors I am opening are not opened by your performance. They are opened by my favor resting on you, because you finally allowed yourself to be loved without earning it. Provision that has been delayed is no longer delayed. Bread you have been worrying about. Practical bread, rent bread, medicine bread, family bread, all of it is being released. Not as a miracle that arrives in one dramatic moment to prove a point. As a steady restoring of the kind of supply that flows when a child stops trying to be the parent of his own life. You have been parenting yourself for too long. I am taking that role back. You can be the child again. You can let me be the provider. You can let worry stop running like a background program every minute of your day. Your yoke is gone. Say that to yourself. The yoke is gone. Shoulders that have been tight for so long, they forgot they were tight. Those shoulders can drop now. Let them drop. Let your ribs expand. Let your breath go deeper than it has been allowed to go for months. This is not a temporary release. This is a permanent change. What I have removed does not return. I want you to understand something about how I work. I do not remove burdens by demanding more of you. I do not say, I will lift this when you have prayed more, fasted more, served more, given more. That is the voice of a God who does not exist. That is the voice you were taught to fear. The real voice, my voice, says, lay it down because I love you. Lay it down because I do not want my child carrying what I am strong enough to carry. Lay it down because love does not measure deservingness before it acts. Strength you thought you needed to find, you no longer need to find it. Your own strength was never the point. My strength was always the point. Your waiting season was not me testing your endurance. It was me holding back so that you would stop trying to be the strong one in our relationship, so that I could be what I have always been, the one who carries you. You receive my word with joy. Each time you hear that line spoken in your spirit, more of the old weight loosens. Each time you say it back to me, your new posture sets a little deeper. This is how a heart is rebuilt, not by force, by repetition of truth, slowly replacing the repetition of fear that lived in you for years. Your fear had its own sentence. Fear said you would never be enough. You would never be free. You would never be received. That sentence is being unwritten. A new one is taking its place. You are the one writing it now, with every breath that you give back to me with trust, instead of bracing. What I have for your future is not a smaller version of what you lost. It is not a consolation prize after the hard years. It is something larger than the original dream, because the original dream was made by a younger version of you who did not yet know what real strength looked like. A new dream is being made by me for the version of you who has been refined. You are about to receive things you did not know how to ask for, because the younger you did not know they existed. What I am asking is that you be ready for that. Ready does not mean perfect. Ready means open. Ready means the hands are no longer clenched around what was. Ready means the shoulders no longer carry what was never yours. Ready means the face is lifted, the gaze is upward, the chest is open, the breath is deep. Ready is the posture you are taking right now, whether you realize it or not. I am positioning you. Receive what I am positioning you for. There is a kind of expectation that drains a person, and a kind of expectation that fills a person. One that drains says, I have to make this happen. I have to manage every detail. I have to push the door open with the strength of my own arm. That is the old expectation. A new one, what I am teaching you now, is the expectation of a child waiting for a gift he knows is being prepared by someone he trusts completely. He does not have to design the gift. He does not have to assemble it. He does not have to know what is inside the box. He only has to keep his hands open and his eyes lifted toward the one who is bringing it. That is the kind of expectation I want in you. Restful, confident, childlike without being naive. I want to say one more thing about your shoulders, because I see how much memory lives in them. Shoulders remember everything. Every time you said yes when you should have said no, your shoulders remember. Every time you absorbed someone's anger so the room would not break, your shoulders remember. Every time you held a secret that was not yours to keep, your shoulders remember. All of that memory is being released as you breathe, not theoretically, materially. Cells of your body are responding to the word heaven has spoken over your situation. Tension is dissolving. Holding is loosening. Whatever has lived in your back for years is being told, by my authority, that it is no longer welcome. There is no condemnation in my voice when I speak to you. There never has been. A voice you grew up fearing, one that said God is angry, God is keeping score, God is waiting to punish. That was never me. That was the noise of a world that does not know my heart. My heart toward you, in this exact moment, is tenderness. Pure, unmixed tenderness. A kind that does not require you to be anything other than what you are. Chains that were on your ankles, yes, I see those too, are coming off. Ones you did not even know were chains. Patterns of thinking that kept you small. Voices in your head that sounded like your own, but were never your own. Stories you told yourself about why you do not deserve more. All of it is being cut. Not slowly, not over the next decade, in this season, while you are still listening, while you are still receiving. You have lived for a long time inside a definition of yourself that was given to you by people who did not have authority to define you. A teacher said something when you were small, and your spirit absorbed it as a final word. A parent said something out of their own pain, and your soul stored it as a law about who you are. A friend left, and the leaving became a sentence in your inner voice that said, "You are easy to leave." None of those sentences came from me. None of them have weight in my kingdom. You have been living inside a story I never wrote. I am speaking the real story over you now, and the real story is the only one that stands. The real story is this: you are loved, you are seen, you are chosen, you are not a problem to be solved. You are not a burden to anyone who truly knows you. The people who treated you like a burden were carrying their own load and did not have arms free to hold you well. That was their condition, not your truth. You can release the story they wrote on you. You can write a new one. Or rather, you can let me write a new one, because the one I write is more accurate than anything you could compose about yourself, and far more accurate than anything anyone else has tried to write about you. You are not the same person who began listening to me. You are not even the same person who began this devotional. Something has shifted. A shift not loud, but real. How you will move through tomorrow will be different from how you moved through yesterday. A difference not always visible to others at first. It will be visible to you, and eventually, it will become visible to everyone. A miracle you have been waiting for already has a date set in heaven. I do not announce dates the way humans announce them. I announce them by shifts in the spirit, by sudden ease where there was friction, by doors that open on their own, by people calling you out of nowhere. When you see the small signs starting, do not dismiss them. Those are the announcements. Your miracle is the gathering of all those small announcements into one moment when you suddenly realize the season has changed. I love you. I want you to hear that without flinching, without immediately countering it in your mind with reasons why I should not. I love you in a way that does not depend on your performance, your output, your usefulness to anyone. I love you because you are mine. That is the entire sentence. There is no qualifier after it. Bread on your table will be enough. Your roof will stand. People you love who have been struggling will be touched in ways you did not engineer. Finances that have been tight will loosen. A body that has been tired will find its rhythm again. None of these things require you to strain for them. They require you to receive. And receiving is what I am training you in, right now, in this exact moment. Open your hands one more time, not to grab, to hold what is being placed in them. I am placing peace there. I am placing direction there. I am placing the certainty that you are not alone there. I am placing the knowledge that the burden is gone there. Hold all of it lightly. Receive all of it fully. Carry none of it as a weight. Everything I give from now on, you carry as a gift, not as a load. Amen. If these words found a place in you, leave one comment below, even a single word. Share this with someone whose shoulders have been tight for too long. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. A blessing that has landed on you is meant to spread. Receive it fully, then pass it on.